Hi, it's Janelle with Parsnips and Parsimony, and welcome to my 33-week pregnancy update video. If you're new to our channel, make sure you hit the red subscribe button down below where I'm documenting my 7th pregnancy and also hoping to film our birth video. So what's been going on this week is I finally had my appointment with my midwife. Everything looked really good with the baby. I'm measuring right on date now. Last time I went to her, that was 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was actually measuring 2 weeks ahead, but we really thought the reason for that was because the baby was so high in my ribs and it was just floating up so high that it was just making the measurements off. So the measuring is back on target, exactly 33 centimeters, and my blood pressure was nice and low. Everything checks out really good. I've gained about 29 pounds so far, which is a little on the higher end for me, but when I go back and look at my different pregnancies, my bigger babies tend to have gained more weight and my smaller babies just tend to gain less weight. So I said to my husband, I think this is just going to be one of the bigger babies. Now my older kids who like to do statistical type things came up with how it seems like every other baby is a big baby. Charity was a big baby, Peter was a big baby, Mary was a big baby. Now my last baby, Grace, was only 7 pounds 1 ounce, which is pretty small considering my other ones have been in the 8-pounders, but I have a feeling this one's going to be back in the 8-pound range, but only time will tell. After my appointment on Wednesday, I did do a little bit of Christmas shopping. Since this baby is due right around Christmas, I'm really afraid that I'm not going to be able to get my Christmas shopping done in time before this baby comes. So we were in Clifton Park and I said to my husband, can we just quick stop by Kohl's and I'll check out what I can find. There was a few things I wanted to pick up. So I did a little bit of walking around Kohl's, but nothing like what I used to do when I wasn't pregnant. But apparently between being a little bit on the dehydrated side from being out for the morning with my midwife and then going to Kohl's and then the walking around, it seemed to trigger quite a series of events that led to me being up all night Wednesday night and Thursday morning with pretty regular consistent contractions anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes apart. And then the weird thing was they weren't like predictably strong contractions. You'd have one really strong contraction and then you'd have like just a Braxton Hicks squeezing, and then you wouldn't really have a contraction. It was more like really bad cramping and back pain, and it just kind of varied all night. So it was not, you could almost time them, but the intensity was very, very different. There were very different levels of intensity. I was considering calling my midwife, but again, this is something that is so normal for me. I did not call her. I just sort of waited to see what happened because they weren't getting closer together. They weren't really picking up. They were just all over the place. Very uncomfortable. You couldn't sleep through them. I was feeling nauseous, just generally blah. But around 7:30, I finally fell back to sleep. I got a few more hours of sleep, but I have to say, Wednesday night and Thursday were rough days. Since then, I've been making sure I'm taking it easy as much as I can. One of the things that this pregnancy has been so different from my other pregnancies is my mind is 100% intact. Now, what do I mean by that? All my other pregnancies, I've just shut down and said, you know what? I'm only going to be pregnant for X amount of weeks. I can just sit here, do nothing, and we'll just recover and make up for it later on. This time around, I cannot do that whatsoever. It's like I have all these things going in my head. I just cannot get my body to cooperate with me. And that has been far more challenging because when you have all these things you want to do and you can't do them, it's very, very frustrating to me. So I'm trying to make lists, prioritize, and really go after the things that are the most important right now. And I know in my previous pregnancy update videos, I've told you guys that food for my family has been one of my biggest priorities, and that continues to be a priority, But after what's been going on this week, I've been having a lot more pelvic pain too. Charity has kindly been offering to help with a lot of the food prep. So now it's more, I'm really restrained, and what I can do physically, I'm really all brains up here and trying to direct traffic between Art and the kids, and that's just been a very different, challenging aspect of this pregnancy. I did say to Art today, I wonder if usually I lose my mind during pregnancy and I get it back as soon as I deliver. I sure hope that I don't have my brain for all of this pregnancy and then lose it after the delivery, because we'll all be toast if that happens. I did finally unearth my birth kit box that I had from my other 2 home births, and I went through that and I've started figuring out what I need to purchase. I'm hoping either today or in the next couple days I can finalize my order, get that taken care of. I also need Art to start pulling the things down for the baby. It's really strange because I feel like we don't have enough time to get all this done that needs to be done for the baby. We need to bring down an armoire for the baby because I don't have a dresser for him or her. I also need to at least get some clothes, newborn neutral clothes out, because, well, the baby can't run around naked. I mean, I have clothes, I just need Art to get them. We need to get the bassinet down. I need to get my birthing balls and my balls that I like to sit on right at the end of pregnancy. I need to get them down and blown up. I need my room cleaned for my sake, top to bottom. I want the bathroom thoroughly cleaned, like bleached clean, and that's something Art has to do because has to deal with a ladder in the ceiling, and I do not go on ladders when I'm pregnant. There's all these things to do, and we were doing the math in the car this morning, and I think I could deliver as soon as 16 days. 16 days, that is insane with all that we need to do. And on top of that, it's Art's extremely, he's just been extremely busy at the shop, which, you know, is a little bit normal, but I don't think it's quite to this extreme. Maybe it's because he's not working as many hours. He's just not completing the work. I'm not sure the dynamics there, but it's very strange, very, very strange this time around. And I really have needed more help with the kids, and he's the one that's been providing that for me. I think that's pretty much the big news of everything that's going on. I did manage to go grocery shopping this morning with Charity's help. That's a beautiful sight to see me waddling through the grocery store. That you don't want to see that. But I did make it to the grocery store, found some good prices and meat markdowns. So we did 2 freezer meals, actually 2 freezer chicken meals. I also did, or Charity cooked up some ground beef and turned it into taco meat. So we're going to freeze that into 2 meals. And I'm just trying to make things that Art can pull out whenever he needs them, whether it be after the baby or if it's before the baby, just because of the pain that I've been in. I'm going to give you a quick belly shot here, and I think I look like the baby grew a lot this week. It just feels like instead of this pointy little belly, it's more rounded. But I'll let you guys take a look and see what you think. That's all that I can think of at the moment that's going on for week 33. I don't have another visit with my midwife until week 36, and it's going to be a home visit where she will come here and check all of my birthing supplies. And that's going to be a pretty exciting visit, because after that point I am going to be free and clear to deliver at any point. I have so much to do. So anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this pregnancy update video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you for whenever I get to my next video. Hopefully it'll be next week, but who knows. Thanksgiving's coming up, and I forgot, that's right, I've got to fit Thanksgiving into those 16 days. Crazy times. All right, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later. Bye.